those under 40 who die in the African American community, the largest percentage of them die from HIV/AIDS. Well, this is what woke me up, because we figure that that's the demographic that most profoundly comes to our church. That's the demographic that we need to serve. And while we are involved in every aspect of the fight, we realize, oh my God, this is like in our house. When we began, obviously I had a lot of questions because I am a Baptist preacher, and a lot of questions about what did this mean with respect to our stance, with respect to issues of sexual identity. And I told our church, and I've told several preachers and others who I have been able to influence in this way, that this has nothing to do with that. This is more than anything, no matter what you feel about issues of identity, issues of orientation, this is a health concern. And we all have a vested interest in eradicating this disease. We have a vested interest in making sure that every person, gay, lesbian, heterosexual, has an opportunity to receive the services they need, to be educated with respect to this disease, as well as to become advocates for others who don't really know what is necessary in order to take care of themselves. They're not really aware. To eliminate stigma and fear is so essential as well. And I see us as being partners in that for this community, but not just for this community. I see us bringing that to the church community, and I see ASA helping us with the resources to do that. What we're trying to do in the National Week of Prayer is educate the African American community about the dangers of HIV/AIDS, to make sure they get tested, to know their status, as well as to communicate love to a group of people that we feel like have not been communicated with adequately. And so what we were able to do this last time is bring together 16 churches, 16 pastors, to, on that one Sunday, preach sermons related to HIV/AIDS. I mean, you don't have to die, and you need to know your status, and if you engage in sexuality, be protected, protect yourself.
In 1994, I was a freshman in college. It just so happened that December of 1994, two of my family members, very close family members, were diagnosed with HIV. My cousin George. He was a healthy, happy, thriving professional. He told us that when he was HIV positive and he didn't know how much time he had to live. Being the one person in the family that was fully fluent in both English and Spanish, I was that person that the medical professionals came and communicated with me, and then I communicated with my family. What ended up happening is that about 2 or 3 months later, he passed away. And I believe that the main reason that he died so soon is because he delayed informing us, and he delayed seeking treatment. He knew that once he sought treatment, we were gonna know, and we were gonna find out that he was homosexual, that he was dying of a disease that had so much stigma. And in the end, when he passed, I was in charge of drafting an obituary for this beautiful man that I love so much, and I was not allowed to say that, he had HIV. I had to say that he had cancer. And so for me, that was really difficult, because I think that's a part of educating the community, letting you know that it does happen, that it can happen to your brother, your son, your cousin, and it happened there. And it was something that to this day, they still don't even tell people and don't talk about. And that's something that I didn't want to happen to anyone anymore.
We have such a strong organization, and we rest on a foundation that was built by incredible volunteers and staff members and people that were part of this organization over the 25-year history. But now we need to expand our universe and include so many people and other organizations to keep this issue on the forefront, so that people know about how to prevent this disease, but also so they know they have a place to go to, and also come up with new strategies and new ways to engage the community, to raise awareness, to get people tested, and to get people into care.
Being a part of the Women's Rising Project has given me an opportunity to help those women in a very strategic way, because not only are we raising funds to help them, but we're educating other women in the community who themselves may be at risk and haven't been tested. But once they hear someone's compelling story about what happened, that could move them to get the help that they need.
Even today, we see recently 6 young teenagers that contracted HIV. 2 of them were diagnosed with AIDS. Years ago, we used to say silence kills. And even today now, I think sometimes we're the victim of our own success with the medications and people living longer with HIV. But as a result, people think, okay, well, it's simple as taking a pill. Everyone's vision for the future is that we have a cure for HIV. But until we have a cure, I think we need to have a community that's engaged, talking about HIV and supporting our own community so that people don't feel stigmatized. We cannot afford to have barriers to discussions around safer sex practices, because if we have those barriers, people will die and people will contract HIV.
My hope for the future is that it's one that is filled with individuals and communities that are engaged and educated about this issue, and that we keep the dialogue going. We share the dialogue with each other, we share it with our children as they're growing up, we share it with people that we think need to know. Not only that, but that we also provide a safe environment for individuals who are impacted by HIV and AIDS, because no one should be living alone with this. No one should be excluded or stigmatized. We're all in this together, and that's what community is about.